honestly believe that big cities are what are destroying our soul. The fact that they created this concrete jungle and expect us to thrive on it when what they offer us in this concrete jungle is working, working, working nonstop. So most of your time is taken up at work, and that when you do have free time, what do they promote? And what's around you is restaurants and bars. So people are diving into the drinking, and then they spend all their money on going out with their friends drinking, and bills and rent, and everything is more expensive when you're living in the city. So it's like they've got us to buy into the system that we think this is acceptable, and then there's no nature around us. So you're in this city where there's few parks, where you just don't have nature. And like, for example, especially with Toronto, it's just 10 months of the year is cold, and then you get like 2 months of summer, and August it's already getting cold again. So you get like 6 weeks of summer, and then back to being cold, spending time indoors. Unless you're a winter sports person, then a lot of people spend majority of their time indoors because it's too cold to go outside. You don't want to go outside in -20. So it's like they built this system, and we just accept it, and we don't strive for escaping it because we say this is the way it is, and we accept that that's the way it is. When if we really worked on it, especially in our 20s, of getting out, trying new experiences, getting jobs abroad where the climate is warm so that we get sunlight, so that we meet different people, then we would see a different way of life. But we get so in the rat race of having to just pay bills and go out with our friends and go drinking that we spend all our money, that we don't even have money saved up to go do those things. So it's like they keep us in this constant cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and making us think that that's worth it, that going out on a Friday night is worth it, when there's so much more that our soul needs to be fed, like being in nature, sunlight, grounding in the grass, like having time in isolation to spend time with yourself, not always needing to be around people, learning, getting knowledge, not just looking for entertainment 24/7, right? So I just think that, like, in order for us to change this matrix, we need to get out of that mindset that of living in the city. We need to escape their systems and live below our means, like within our means, like not need so much, need less, live a simpler life, so that you can enjoy the nature and the simple things in life, and not be a slave to their system by wanting more things, by consuming more. Consume more of nature, consume more of the water, consume more of being around like-minded souls. You don't need to drink and smoke and do all of these things that are destroying your body. Nourish your body. Spend your money on good food that's healthy, that nourishes your body. So it's like we need to reassess our values, because if you're okay with that life, and which most people are not, because when I lived in Toronto, everyone that I talked to, from young to older to everyone in between, was miserable living there. They hated the winters, they hated the way the system worked, they hated how people were fake, they just did not like anything about it. They were miserable, they were annoyed, people were getting into road rage, you had to wait in traffic, all of these things were just annoying them 24/7. So you're in a constant state of stress because you're getting annoyed over every little thing that comes by you because of the place that you live. That is it really worth living there? Is it really worth having the quote unquote money? Like, because I've talked to rich people, poor people, middle class people, and they all feel the same way in Toronto, for example, the big city. But it doesn't, so it shows you that it doesn't matter if you have money or you don't have money. If you have money, then you're still going to be miserable in a place that is not feeding your soul, not nourishing you. So that's why it's like a lot of people stay because of the communities that they have, but the community that they have is not nourishing them either, because they're engaging in the same pattern of drinking, smoking, and numbing themselves from reality instead of going introspection, grounding, and all these things I mentioned, right? So it's like the reason why people stay blind and stay stuck in the system is because they're choosing not to get out of the system. And the first step is escaping the system, and then you can start working on everything else. Because if you're still in that system, then you're still going to feel trapped. You're still going to feel like you need something to escape, because this reality is not worth it. And you're always going to feel in that cycle of you need to escape, you need to escape. Whereas when you move to somewhere that's warmer, then you're not going to feel this need to escape, because you're going to feel like, wow, like I actually like it here. And you start to get used to the new way of being. It's just that your old programming will want you to go back to that life because that's the life that you knew and familiar. So it takes a while to get adjusted to this new way of living, adjusted to the simpler things, adjusted to being in a smaller environment. So I know I'm just saying from my experience from being in a big city as Toronto, and then moving to an island and not speaking the language. That's my first barrier, but I'll overcome that and I'll meet more people that speak English. But my whole point is that it's like we have to give things time to adjust. And when you go on a healing journey, you have to and you're reprogramming yourself, you need to give yourself time to adjust before you add more layers into it, right? So until you're at a place where you feel okay through grounding, through sunlight, through all these things that I said, building your routine, working on your passions, all these things I've been saying over and over in my videos, then the community and the support system is not going to really come in as of yet, because you're still working on healing yourself and rebuilding your identity that the system told you that was your identity and how you should be and what you should be going after, and grind for something that is not meaningful to you. Yeah, take aligned action, be consistent, and work on the things that matter to you, but grinding for something that you're unhappy, that every day you go to work and you're miserable going to your job, you're not looking forward to it, and you're just doing it to get a paycheck, to be somebody, to show people that this is my job and I'm so cool. Like, when it doesn't make you happy and you don't feel like you're actually being a service of this world, you just feel like you're just trying to get by, and you're not nourishing yourself. So it's like, reassess, because I'm telling you, the first step is to get out of the city. And yeah, you may feel lonely. Yeah, you may not have that community. Yeah, you may be basically starting over, but the rewards that you'll feel over time and the way your nervous system will gradually get better, and you'll become a calmer person because you escaped all that stress and anxiety and all these other things that weren't fulfilling you, then you'll start attracting a tribe that matters to you and that is similar to you and like-minded and whatnot. Like, if you follow what feels right and stop doing what they tell you that is right, like get married by 30, all these things that society tells you who you should be, work a stable job until you're 65, retire at 65, go enjoy the world then. No, you're supposed to enjoy the world now, while you're young, while you have the energy, while you have the drive. Like, make money so that you can have experiences, not make money so that you can numb out your reality. Create the reality that you want. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm still struggling with accepting my new reality and seeing the blessings and all of these things. But what do I do when I'm not feeling like, oh, what am I gonna do, out of sync? I go out in the sun, and that recalibrates me right away. Or go on a walk, or go stand by the water. Like, I'm grateful that I have these things that can get me back into a state of feeling nourished and good food and all these things. Like, it's all about going to a place where you have the means to regulate your nervous system and get yourself in a place where you feel joy, where you feel peace. Yeah, you may not feel excitement until you get in a place where you've reprogrammed yourself, but you'll have moments where you feel excitement. And over time, you keep acting on those moments, your highest excitement, and it'll be that you constantly are feeling happy just for existing. And the biggest thing that comes out of this is that you feel peace and tranquility. So peace and tranquility is over always being in a stressed out state.